Chapter 61 Fang Xian vs Zhongtian, please vote for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fang Xian's eyes flashed, his body becoming a furnace of power as his soul force blazed. Golden light erupted from his shadowless sword, making its energy feel unstoppable. Bad sword technique, storm slash, that this strike was a whirlwind of power. He swung it with everything he had, tearing through the air like a predator charging Zhongtian. Tianping possession, Zhongtian roared, his black hair whipping around him. A savage golden-winged rock materialized above his head, radiating a world-shattering aura. This was a top-tier ancient martial spirit, far surpassing ordinary ones in its terrifying strength. The audience erupted as soon as the golden-winged rock appeared. The golden-winged rock. It's the ancient martial spirit. Incredible power. What is that aura? Too strong. No ordinary martial art can stand against that, everyone gasped. Zhongtian's aura had transformed him into an ancient beast, completely overwhelming Fang Xian. Compared to the rock's might, Fang Xian suddenly seemed small. Boom! The shadowless sword and Tianping fist collided head-on, unleashing a shockwave of soul power that blasted outwards. Fang Xian cried out, flying backward. He felt like he'd been punched through the chest, his organs quivering. He spat out a mouthful of blood. In their first exchange, Fang Xian was at a clear disadvantage, the gap was too wide. Fang Xian was level 31, while Zhongtian was level 37, a difference of 6 full levels of soul power. Plus, Zhongtian possessed the golden-winged rock martial spirit and hadn't even used his 3 soul ring abilities yet. His face pale, Fang Xian stumbled back 7 steps before he could steady himself. Raising his head, his sharp eyes locked onto Zhongtian, a fierce light burning within them. Ha ha ha, Fang Xian, you're already done. I only used half my strength in that punch. Looks like you can't take it. Zhongtian smirked arrogantly, the image of the golden-winged rock flickering around him, his lips curled into a contemptuous sneer as he stared down at Fang Xian. Admit defeat now, and it's not too late. Otherwise, don't blame me when I go all out and accidentally cripple you. Bring it on. Wiping the blood from his mouth, Fang Xian's expression hardened. He raised the shadowless sword and fearlessly charged Zhongtian again. Who's crippling who? Let's find out. Reckless fool. Zhongtian scoffed. He merged with the golden-winged rock, raising his golden fist to strike Fang Xian. The two clashed. Fang Xian's spine vibrated with power. He slashed the sword, tearing across Zhongtian's chest, drawing bright red blood. Zhongtian roared in fury, his hand transforming into a massive golden rock claw that blotted out the sun. With savage force, he slammed it into Fang Xian, sending him flying backward, coughing up blood. Their battle cries echoed as they fought with bloodshot eyes. Each blow landed with ferocious intensity, turning the arena into a brutal cage of 2 beasts. The sheer murderous intent made onlookers tremble. So strong. They're both so strong, that everyone was stunned. It was hard to believe this was a battle between 2 soul lords. Zhongtian and Fang Xian's power far exceeded their current levels, rivaling that of a 4-ringed soul sect. However, it was clear Fang Xian was on the losing side, overwhelmed by Zhongtian's power. Although both were wounded, Fang Xian was far more injured. His left arm hung limp and broken, his chest was caved in, and his body was covered in blood, his robe torn. Zhongtian, on the other hand, only had 2 shallow cuts on his chest. They barely bled, so his injuries were minimal. Fang Xian is going to lose. Looking at the scene, the crowd shook their heads. The outcome seemed inevitable. Fang Xian was simply outmatched. Fang Xian, my Tianping fist has already done serious damage. Don't be stubborn. Just surrender. Zhongtian glanced indifferently at the battered Fang Xian, a smug look on his face. He had victory within reach and didn't want to waste any more time. No need to hold on. Taking a deep breath, Fang Xian looked down at his wounds, his expression calm. He looked up at Zhongtian, a smile spreading across his face. If I don't get treatment, I might actually die. Treatment? Zhongtian frowned. What nonsense are you talking about? You're an offensive soul master. You can't just heal like an auxiliary soul master. Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. Fang Xian smiled strangely, activating the nine-hearted begonia martial spirit. The nine-hearted begonia blossomed, its petals whiter than snow. A surge of vitality flowed along Fang Xian's meridians, rapidly repairing his injuries. Under the astonished gaze of everyone, Fang Xian glowed with a milky white light. His broken arm, crushed ribs, and countless wounds healed in an instant. The entire arena was silent. What's happening? Fang Xian's healing himself. Is he an auxiliary soul master? Someone exclaimed. Impossible. He's too strong. He has to be a fighting soul master. No auxiliary soul master could be a match for Zhongtian. An old man shook his head. Maybe he got lucky and learned a special healing skill. A teacher guessed. The crowd was confused, unable to figure out how Fang Xian had healed himself so quickly. The outcome was suddenly uncertain. TCH, that jerk is like a cockroach. Zhongtian beats him down, and he just gets back up. Du Guyan muttered. That is. Of everyone present, only Yi Lingling had seen Fang Xian's healing ability. She'd been his guinea pig, so she knew exactly what was happening. As the crowd reeled from this healing surge, Zhongtian's face grew dark. He was sure he was about to win, but Fang Xian had healed himself and was ready for more. Okay, I'm all charged up again. A wicked smile appeared on Fang Xian's face. He gripped the shadowless sword and said calmly, come on. Zhongtian, let's go another round. Chapter 62. This guy is cheating. Asking for recommendation votes. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. It started as a fierce fight, but things quickly got weird. Fang Xian wasn't as strong as Zhongtian, but he had the nine-hearted begonia martial spirit, which healed him almost instantly. Seriously, it was like carrying a portable health potion with insane battery life. The more he got beat down, the tougher he got, turning the tables and going on the offensive against Zhongtian. What the? Zhongtian's eye twitched. He was about ready to blow a gasket. He'd been dominating at first, but after all that pounding, he was the one all busted up, while Fang Xian just kept coming. How could anyone beat that? Talk about unfair. Finally, Zhongtian snapped. Ref. This is rigged. I'm calling it. How can I fight this? Hey, who's cheating? Fang Xian grinned at Zhongtian's purple face. I'm playing fair. Get your own healing powers if you're so sore about it. I'll heal myself, and I'll grind you down. That was Fang Xian's plan, and it was working, driving Zhongtian, little bully himself, nuts. Everyone looked at Meng Xinji, waiting to see how the ref would handle this mess. Well. Meng Xinji hesitated, then told Zhongtian, look, if you're complaining about Fang Xian's healing ability, I can only suggest you treat this like you're fighting a support soul master. Support soul master? What support soul master hits that hard? Zhongtian's mouth tightened. His plan to get the ref to bail him out had just crashed and burned. He couldn't waste any more time with Fang Xian or he'd get worn down. There was only one way to win, a knockout. He had to take Fang Xian out now before he had a chance to heal. Zhongtian roared, his hair flying, as 3 soul rings, yellow, and purple, rose around him. The purple 1000-year ring glowed with power. The golden-winged rock martial spirit got a massive boost. It shook off its sluggishness and came roaring back to life, radiating a deadly aura. Third soul skill, Sky Rock 1000 Swords. Zhongtian transformed into the rock, diving from the sky with killing intent. He beat his wings, launching golden feathers like a storm of arrows at Fang Xian. Ice Blade. Fang Xian met Zhongtian's attack with a calm, cold focus, and a low growl in his head. The Ice Phoenix spirit burst free in a cry, wings spread, and the power of world-freezing ice surged, focusing into the shadowless knife. This was it. Win or lose. He poured every ounce of soul power, every bit of ice, even a hint of his sword mastery, into the attack, meeting Zhongtian head-on. Boom! The knife blazed with ice and snow, drawing a lethal arc. The bone-chilling cold froze the feather arrows solid. Then, it cut through Zhongtian like lightning. Arg! Zhongtian went pale, coughing blood. Half his body was covered in ice. He flew backward, smashing into the arena wall, which buckled under the impact. He was buried in rubble, unconscious. The arena fell silent. Congratulations. Defeated a 3-ringed soul master. Reward, 100 sword draws, soul power plus 100. Fang Xian exhaled in relief as the victory chime rang. He felt a surge of joy, then hurried to check his stats. The ultimate sword draw system. Host, Fang Xian. Level, 31. Title, Soul Lord. Soul power, 200/600. Weapon, Shadowless Knife. Proficiency, Theravada Sword Draw Technique, 1/200. Mind State, Sword Mastery. God-Given Sword, 1. Martial Spirits, Ice Phoenix Soul, Elementary 72 out of 100, Nine-Hearted Begonia Soul, Elementary 33/100. Talent, Ice Blade, Healing Blade. Sword Skills, Storm Slash, Super Strong Draw, plus 30% power, Yanhui. Super Speed Draw, plus 30% speed. Sword draws available, 300. As a lone Douluo swordsman, each victory improves your strength. His stats had improved, and he had 100 new sword draws. That gave him a total of 3 lottery chances. Wait, Fang Xian beat Zhongtian. Am I seeing things? Finally, someone broke the silence. It was unbelievable. Zhongtian had a 6-level advantage, the top-tier golden-winged rock martial spirit, and was expected to win the whole competition. But Fang Xian had defeated him. The crowd was stunned. Excellent! 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 Emperor Shui beamed, giving Fang Xian his first real show of approval. He never expected this son, whom he had written off, to claw his way to the top and challenge the best from the Tiando Academy. His talent and potential had finally caught the Emperor's attention. Win or lose, Emperor Shui decided, he would reward Fang Xian handsomely. Even if Fang Xian didn't become emperor, his amazing talent meant he'd become a contra-level powerhouse, adding another weapon to the empire's arsenal. Qian Renxue saw the change in the emperor's face, and her eyes flashed with coldness. Fang Xian, the rejected son, had caught the emperor's eye and was being taken seriously. This wasn't good for Qian Renxue. She felt her position as prince threatened, but then, Qian Renxue seemed to realize something. Her brow smoothed, and a cold smile crept across her lips as she watched Fang Xian. Good luck in your next match, Fang Xian. Please collect. Please recommend. Please reward. Thanks to every book friend for your support. Chapter 63 Name Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The talented knife is getting an upgrade soon. A lot of people have said the current name isn't fancy enough, so let's brainstorm some new ones together. Asterisk Ice Knife could become Snow Dance. That's one reader's idea. Asterisk Healing Knife, asterisk Flaming Knife, asterisk Thunder Knife, asterisk Binding Knife, asterisk Knife of Power, asterisk Auxiliary Knife. Those are the types of knives we're working with. Alright, everyone, put your thinking caps on and help this useless author out. Smiley face. Chapter 64 Haze Please vote for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A light drizzle started, soaking everyone in the square without them even noticing. All eyes were glued to the fight in the ring. One move. A collective gasp swept through the crowd as they stared, dumbfounded. In the ring, a purple-haired guy stood with his hands behind his back, a cold, arrogant look on his face. He looked like some kind of unbeatable demon lord. At his feet lay a handsome man, covered in blood. He was pale and clearly badly hurt, coughing up a mixture of blood and what looked like internal organs. It was a brutal sight. Douglas just took down Yu Tianheng in one hit. No way. Shock rippled through the audience, contestants and spectators alike were stunned. He's a beast. He's on another level. Fang Xian's face darkened as he watched the demonic-looking purple-haired man in the ring. All he could see was the guy's lean, powerful build, yellow, purple. Four soul rings floated quietly, their brilliant light illuminating the dimly lit square. The fourth purple ring, in particular, pulsed with a weird black-purple light, radiating a terrifying, suffocating aura. It was a 5,000-year-old soul ring. Soul sect. A 4-ring soul sect. Douglas actually made it to the soul sect level. Several people couldn't help but shout when they saw Douglas's fourth soul ring, Dark Horse. He was a serious dark horse in this tournament. Who would have thought that the usually low-key Douglas would suddenly unleash this kind of power, crushing the favorite, Yu Tianheng, with a single blow. The whole place was reeling. Douglas, that guy was holding back. He became a fourth-ring soul sect without anyone noticing. Fang Xian looked grim. He'd been feeling good about his lucky by not long ago, but now he couldn't even crack a smile, because after Douglas's win, Fang Xian was up against him, a young 4-ring soul sect, in the finals. Ha! So much for the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Douglas sneered, pressing his foot onto Yu Tianheng's chest. Yu Tianheng's face contorted in pain as he spewed another mouthful of blood. You jerk! What are you doing? Get your foot off Tianheng! Duguyen screamed and rushed into the ring, waving her hand. A cloud of purple poison mist hurtled towards Douglas. This was green-scale snake venom, incredibly potent stuff. Even a soul sect could be seriously injured by inhaling it. TCH. Douglas scoffed, lifting his foot from Yu Tianheng and retreating quickly, easily dodging Duguyan's venom. Tianheng, are you okay? Duguyan's pretty face was etched with worry. She helped the unconscious Yu Tianheng up and called out to a silver-haired girl in the crowd, Ling Ling, heal him. Okay. Yi Lingling nodded solemnly, and with graceful movements, a pure white, flawless begonia flower slowly appeared, radiating a holy, peaceful aura. It was a 9-hearted begonia. 9-hearted begonia, heal. A clear voice rang out, and the 9-hearted begonia glowed brighter, projecting a soft, milky white light that instantly enveloped Yu Tianheng and began to heal him rapidly. Yu Tianheng's injuries were healing at an unbelievable rate. In moments, he was completely recovered and woke up from his daze. The healing power of the 9-hearted begonia was unbelievable. The crowd was shocked. The healing abilities of the 9-hearted begonia spirit were truly terrifying. Yu Tianheng had been on the brink of death, and now he was back in fighting shape. In a team battle, Yi Lingling would be unstoppable. I lost. Yu Tianheng looked at Douglas with a bitter expression. Nothing was more painful than admitting defeat. Silence fell. No one had expected Yu Tianheng to be knocked out so early, and they all felt bad for him. He definitely had the potential to compete for the championship, but Douglas was just too strong. He was barely 18 and had somehow reached the soul sect level. An 18-year-old 4-ring soul sect. He was one of the top geniuses in both Tiando Academy and across the entire Douluo Continent. His power and talent were unmatched by any other student at the academy. Looks like Douglas has this thing locked up, someone sighed. Most people agreed. Power was power. An extra 1,000-year soul ring was something you couldn't make up for with skill. The gap was just too wide. Yeah, just give Douglas the win today. Some people even forgot about Fang Xian and started pushing the referee to just hand the championship to Douglas. Even if Fang Xian was as strong as Yu Tianheng, what was the point? Yu Tianheng had just been taken down with one punch. Fang Xian wouldn't stand a chance. Ha! You hear that, Fang Xian? You gonna wait for me to beat you down, or you gonna do the smart thing and give up now? Douglas placed his hands behind his back, a cocky grin on his face. His cold eyes locked onto Fang Xian, the 4 soul rings on his body shining as he radiated a terrifying, tiger-like aura. Clang, star. A sword sliced through the air, shattering Douglas's energy. Fang Xian stood tall, as straight as a spear, his shadowless blade stuck into the ground. He met Douglas's sharp gaze with a cold stare and said, "We'll see after the fight." The crowd erupted at Fang Xian's response. What's he doing? Does Fang Xian really want to keep fighting? Is he trying to get himself killed? Fang Xian's level 31 against Douglas's level 40. That's a 10-level gap. There's no way he can win. Dude, it's not just the soul power difference. Douglas also has an extra soul ring. That soul ring's gotta be pretty old, and who knows what kind of crazy abilities it gives him. Man, oh man, everyone was talking, and it was obvious that no one was betting on Fang Xian. The gap between them was just too big. Even Emperor Shui frowned, his face clearly showing his displeasure. He'd been holding on to a sliver of hope that Fang Xian could actually win the championship. But then Douglas came out of nowhere, crushing all of his expectations. Fang Xian ignored the jeers around him, his black hair falling around his face as he put his sword back in its sheath and left the arena alone. Chapter 65 The Invincible Opponent. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The final showdown of the Genius Battle was set for noon in 3 days. This time frame allowed both competitors to recover fully and perform at their best, promising a spectacular duel. However, many had lost interest in the final match, finding it predictable. Most believed Douglas had already won, rendering the competition pointless. 3 days. I still have time. I won't give up. Fang Xian clenched his fist, knuckles popping. Determination blazed across his handsome face. He wouldn't surrender until the very end. There was still time. Plenty of time. Even though he was currently no match for Douglas, he had enough time to turn the tables. The next day, Fang Xian was summoned by Emperor Shui. Fang Xian, just concede. Without a greeting, Shui, looking stern, urged Fang Xian to give up. I know it wasn't easy for you to reach the finals. It's a shame to quit now, but for the sake of the Empire's reputation, you need to, just throw in the towel, okay? The Empire's reputation. Fang Xian frowned, his eyes hardening. What does my winning or losing have to do with the Empire's reputation? To be honest, he'd never liked Emperor Shui, his so-called father, and this situation only fueled his anger. Give up for the Empire's sake. Ridiculous. Your Empire has never given me anything. Why should I sacrifice for it? Fang Xian felt nothing but indifference. Of course, it matters. You're a prince of the Tiando Empire. Emperor Shui seemed displeased but patiently explained, Fang Xian, you know our Tiando Empire may appear strong, but it's in decline. The Barak Kingdom, one of our vassal states, is practically a country within a country. Aside from the required tribute, they govern themselves. If we didn't maintain a strong military presence, the Barak Kingdom and 3 others would have rebelled long ago. Fang Xian listened silently. The main issue is that Douglas is the prince of the Barak Kingdom, and you're a prince of our Tiando Empire. I can't allow you to be defeated by Douglas in this arena. It would be a huge blow to our empire's prestige. It would embolden the Barak Kingdom's ambitions and could even lead to civil unrest. Do you understand the stakes here? Emperor Shui said earnestly. So Fang Xian, for the sake of the empire, I want you to voluntarily concede defeat. Fang Xian remained silent, saying nothing. Of course, I'll compensate you handsomely. Think money, titles, soul rings. Here's the deal. If you forfeit the match with Douglas, I'll help you find another soul bone as good as the championship prize. What do you say? Emperor Shui believed his offer was generous and impossible to refuse. Give up. No way. The Empire's reputation is none of my concern. Emperor Shui's words didn't convince Fang Xian, they only intensified his anger. After a moment of silence, Fang Xian stated firmly, I will win. Hearing this, Emperor Shui raised his eyebrows, displeased with Fang Xian's stubbornness. He couldn't understand what Fang Xian was thinking. He was just setting himself up for humiliation. It was obvious to everyone, except him. Emperor Shui was truly annoyed. He was the emperor of a great empire, and few dared to refuse him. Now, his own son was rejecting him, which greatly irritated him. If he hadn't recognized Fang Xian's strength and talent, he wouldn't have bothered with gentle persuasion, he would have simply issued a cold command. After thinking for a moment, Shui calmed down, stared at Fang Xian, and asked patiently, "What level are you at now?" "Level 31, Fang Xian replied calmly. "Indeed, reaching level 31 at 15 is remarkable. But Douglas is already level 41, 10 levels higher than you, and he possesses an extra 5,000-year soul ring. Do you honestly think you can beat him?" Shui asked. "Not now," Fang Xian admitted seriously. Shui smiled brightly, his face filled with smug satisfaction. He thought he had finally gotten through to Fang Xian and said, "Since you can't win, why subject yourself to humiliation? It's better to concede. This is the best option for you and the Empire. Moreover, given your lower rank and youth, no one will criticize you for backing down against Douglas. Even Yu Tianheng of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family was defeated by Douglas with one punch. What chance do you have?" Fang Xian remained indifferent and said calmly, "Your Majesty, have you ever heard this saying?" "Oh. What's that?" Shui raised his eyebrows. 3 days away is enough to change a person. Shui was taken aback, his expression souring. It seemed Fang Xian was determined to learn the hard way. 3 days is enough to change a person. 3 days is enough to change many things, including the outcome. Fang Xian wasn't confident of victory against the level 41 Douglas, but he wasn't without a chance. If he seized these 3 days to desperately improve his strength, defeating Douglas wasn't impossible. "Your Majesty, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave." Fang Xian bowed respectfully to Emperor Shui, turned without hesitation, and strode out of the palace. Emperor Shui was left alone in the cold, dimly lit hall, his conflicted expression appearing particularly grim in the faint light. "Please collect. Please recommend. Please give me a reward. Thank you to every book friend for your support. Thank you for the reward from Sha Shou Tian Shu and whose name I can't think of. Thank you very much." Chapter 66 Partners of Justice, please vote for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The only way to beat Douglas is to absorb soul rings. Fang Xian's 2 martial souls, Ice Phoenix and 9-hearted Begonia, are still waiting for their rings. Plus, he's got that God-given sword that can copy another martial soul. That means he can absorb 3 soul rings right now. Powering up with 3 rings in a row, his level would skyrocket. He'd at least have a fighting chance against Douglas, but getting soul rings is tricky. Either buy them at the store, or try your luck with a lottery. Either way, you're gonna need a whole lot of sword draws. How do I rack up sword draws fast? Fang Xian frowned, pacing in the woods, brainstorming ways to earn those draws. He only had 300 left, enough for maybe 3 tries. Odds are, he wouldn't pull anything good. Buying a 1,000-year soul ring at the store would cost 1,000 draws, way out of his reach. A crummy 100-year ring is only 10 draws, but he's not about to waste a slot on that. That 800-year-old ring in his backpack is looking better and better. Still, he needs way more draws. He's gotta hustle to earn enough draws in the 3 days before the finals. Lost in thought, Fang Xian didn't notice the 2 preppy brothers heading his way, arm in arm. Ha! He got what he deserved. That troublemaker Fang Xian, let's see how cocky he is now. Long Outyan cackled. Yeah, Douglas got knocked out in the finals. Finally, someone can knock Fang Xian down a peg. Yi Liangchen stroked his chin, a nasty grin on his face. Actually, I'm kinda hoping Fang Xian doesn't back down and fights Douglas. We'd get to see him get totally wrecked. Bro, you're straight up evil. Like, seriously evil. Long Outyan said. Ha 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 ha, Outyan, we're soul masters now. Tiando Academy is our playground. Yi Liangchen declared. Just then, a cold figure brushed past them. In that instant, Long Outyan and Yi Liangchen felt a chill run down their spines. Well, if it isn't you two. Long time no see. Fang Xian stopped, his back to them, a dangerous smile creeping onto his face. Fang Xian the menace. Long Outyan and Yi Liangchen jumped, whirling around to see Fang Xian staring at them, that fake smile playing on his lips. His eyes were cold, sending shivers down their backs. Talk about bad timing. Running into Fang Xian while trash-talking him. The brothers were officially terrified. I couldn't help overhearing, "You two are soul masters now, right?" Fang Xian's hand rested on the white hilt of his blade, and a glint of excitement sparkled in his eyes as he stared at Long Outyan and Yi Liangchen. The sword in its scabbard seemed to hum with anticipation. No. No way. We were just kidding." Seeing Fang Xian's hungry, wolfish stare, the brothers started trembling. They clung to each other, shaking like leaves. Heh. Fang Xian flashed them a bright, toothy grin. In a blur, the shadowless knife left its sheath, a streak of moonlight sending the brothers flying. Ding! Congratulations! Defeated 2 soul masters. Reward, 200 sword draws, soul power plus 200. Ha ha ha. Fang Xian burst out laughing. Earning sword draws and soul power was never this easy. Denying it won't help. I heard you. Fang Xian glanced at Long Outyan and Yi Liangchen, now sprawled on the ground, drooling and passed out. He couldn't help but chuckle, "These two are my lucky charms." Last time, they gave him a stash of gold soul coins. Now, they've handed him an experience pack, and given him a bright idea for boosting his strength. Saints. Fang Xian sighed. He needed to hang out with them more often. After taking a moment to compose himself, he checked his current stats, the ultimate sword draw system, host, Fang Xian, level, LV31, title, Soul Lord, soul power, 400/600, weapon, shadowless knife, proficiency, Theravada sword technique, 1/200, mind state awareness, sword power. God-given sword, 1, martial souls, Ice Phoenix Soul, elementary 72 out of 100, Nine-Hearted Begonia Soul, elementary 33 out of 100, talents, Ice Blade, Healing Blade, sword skills, Storm Slash, super powerful sword draw power increased by 30%, Flash, super high-speed sword draw speed increased by 30%, sword draws available, 500, soul power is almost maxed out, and he just gained 200 sword draws. Sweet. Fang Xian was thrilled, and a crazy idea started brewing in his mind. Over the next 3 days, a storm raged through Tiando Academy. Under the banner of justice for all and peace on earth, Fang Xian went on a rampage. Spotting a student above level 30, he'd charge right in and start slashing. No killing, just a good old-fashioned beatdown. "You're a bad guy." The next morning, Fang Xian spotted a young aristocrat decked out in gold and silver, and instantly pegged him as a villain. The confused aristocrat opened his mouth to protest, but before he could utter a word, a sword was at his face. Congratulations. Defeated a soul lord. Reward, 100 sword draws, soul power plus 100, robbing from the rich to give to the poor. Fang Xian confidently sheathed his sword and strolled away, down a secluded path. "You can't hide, you traitor," a plump student heard the shout and froze. Before he could figure out what was happening, he was sent flying. "Hey! You, the flower thief!" Harassing a decent woman in broad daylight, in a small forest, a young couple was holding hands and whispering sweet nothings. But then, a righteous roar shattered the peace. The boyfriend screamed and was sliced away with a single stroke. "Don't thank me, I'm just a vigilante." Fang Xian calmly sheathed his sword, looking upright and serious, and gave the stunned girl a nod. Girl. Chapter 67 Crazy Upgrade. Please vote for recommendation. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. In the last couple of days, Fang Xian had become this self-appointed vigilante, stirring up major trouble at Tiando Academy. Seems like a bunch of students ended up getting sick, and yeah, a lot of them were cute girls. The students were totally fed up, running to the teachers to complain about Fang Xian, calling him the academy's top troublemaker. Things escalated so much that it even caught the attention of Meng Xinji, the head of the education committee. This powerhouse, an 80-something Contra, was seriously ticked off and gave Fang Xian a major warning, which finally shut things down. Ugh, so much for a good plan. Fang Xian looked bummed, walking down the street with his hands behind his head, eyeing the easy marks going by. He was itching to pull a fast one, but he had to resist the urge and keep his hands to himself. After all, a warning from a Contra was no joke. He couldn't afford to mess with the students anymore, or he'd be facing a full-on boycott and a forced expulsion. On the bright side, Fang Xian had taken down 10 strong soul masters recently, racking up a cool 1,000 sword draws and 1,000 soul power points, major score. Now he could level up and hit the jackpot with some prizes. It was the evening of the third day, and the finals were tomorrow. Fang Xian headed home and immediately went into hardcore training mode, the ultimate sword draw system. Host, Fang Xian. Level, LV31. Title, Soul Lord. Soul Power, 1400/600, upgradable. Weapon, Shadowless Knife. Proficiency, Theravada Sword Drawing Technique, 1/200. Mind State Awareness, Sword Power. God-Given Sword. 1. Martial Souls, Ice Phoenix Soul, Basic 72/100, Nine-Hearted Begonia Soul, Basic 33/100. Talent, Ice Blade, Healing Blade. Sword Skills, Storm/Super. Powerful Sword Draw power increased by 30%, Yanhui, Super High-Speed Sword Draw speed increased by 30%. Sword draws available, 1500, with 1400 soul power racked up, he was ready to level up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Boom. 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 A surge of energy coursed through him, turning into even more powerful soul power, boosting Fang Xian's strength like crazy. Congrats. You've reached LV33. Current soul power, 100 out of 900, 0.2 levels in one shot. Fang Xian could feel a major increase in his soul power, and couldn't help but grin. At level 33, he was still behind Douglas at level 41, but the gap had definitely closed. Next up, he dove into the lottery interface, putting all his hopes on the colorful roulette in front of him. System, hook me up. Fang Xian clasped his hands together like he was praying, full of anticipation. Spin it. And with that, he kicked off his lottery run, the roulette spinning like crazy. Better luck next time. Spin again, better luck next time. Keep spinning, better luck next time. Come on. Come on. Come on. Fang Xian was getting desperate, pulling those levers like a madman, 8 pulls in a row. All better luck next time. Fang Xian was seriously bummed, thinking he should have checked his horoscope first. What kind of luck was this? He just burned through 800 sword draws, and he was hurting. Glancing at the remaining 700, he hesitated for a sec, but then his eyes narrowed, and he grit his teeth and kept going. He was in too deep to quit now. After 8 straight misses, Fang Xian finally scored. Congrats. You've won 1,000-year soul ring. A purple soul ring appeared in mid-air, glowing like crazy. Yes. 1,000-year soul ring. Fang Xian was stoked, figuring it was worth the losses. 9 tries to get 1,000-year soul ring, which was about the same price as buying one. Not a loss, but not exactly a steal either. Finally, he pulled something decent. Fang Xian felt a surge of confidence and kept spinning without hesitation. Fortune favors the bold, right? Time to cash in. 10th draw, talent points *10. 11th draw, basic proficiency *10. 12th draw, better luck next time. 13th draw, century-old soul ring *1. 14th draw, better luck next time. Talent points could boost martial soul proficiency, like blank skill points, while basic proficiency points improved basic sword drawing skills. Solid scores. As for the century-old soul ring, practically useless, before he knew it, he'd blown through most of his 1,500 sword draws, with only one spin left. Fang Xian took a deep breath, trying to stay calm, and went for the final draw. The colorful roulette spun, and his heart was pounding. Congrats. You've won a Millennium Soul Ring, 3,000 years. 3,000-year soul ring? Fang Xian froze, then exploded with joy. Last spin, and he pulls a 3,000-year soul ring. Talk about a lucky break. About an hour later, Fang Xian's lottery frenzy was over, and he'd used up all his sword draws. But his once empty backpack was now loaded with goodies. Fang Xian clicked on his backpack and checked out the haul. Yellow soul ring, 100 years, yellow soul ring, 800 years, purple soul ring, 1,000 years, purple soul ring, 3,000 years, talent points *10, basic proficiency *10. This was everything in Fang Xian's system backpack. His secret weapon for taking down Douglas. After thinking it over, he burned all 10 basic proficiency points first, bumping his Hinayana sword drawing skill to 11/200. Then he dumped all 10 talent points into his Ice Phoenix spirit. It packed the biggest punch, and leveling it up was priority number 1. A talent boost would skyrocket the power of his drawing the sword technique. Attack power was what he needed right now. All 10 talent points went to the Ice Phoenix spirit, Ice Phoenix martial spirit, basic 82 to 100, 18 points left until the next level. Fang Xian figured that one soul ring would be enough to max out the Ice Phoenix spirit. He had 2 duplicate martial souls, the Ice Phoenix and the 9-hearted begonia. Since each duplicate martial soul could only absorb 1 duplicate soul ring, he could absorb a total of 2 soul rings. After a moment's thought, Fang Xian decided to let the 9-hearted begonia absorb the 800-year-old yellow soul ring, and the Ice Phoenix got the 1,000-year-old purple one. Decision made, he dove right in. Never thought I'd have a soul ring myself. Fang Xian was pumped. Chapter 68 2 Soul Rings, Testing the Waters. Asking for recommendation votes. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. In his dantian, the 9-hearted begonia's petals swayed, its leaves pristine, radiating a peaceful, almost holy aura. Like a fairy flower gracing the world, a yellow soul ring materialized, instantly transforming into a delicate gold bracelet that encircled the begonia. The two resonated, and a brilliant light erupted. Fang Xian closed his eyes, focusing as he sat cross-legged. A fierce golden light blazed from his body, flooding the dark room. Congratulations. Soul ring successfully absorbed. Current attributes: 9-hearted begonia soul, 83 out of 100, the 800-year soul ring granted about 50 talent points, but didn't level up the 9-hearted begonia martial soul. Fang Xian was a bit disappointed. Upgrading this talent was proving difficult. With a sigh, he refocused on absorbing the soul ring. While the 9-hearted begonia was close to leveling up, the Ice Phoenix was already highly skilled. Absorbing a 1,000-year soul ring would definitely push it to the next level. Yes, the blue Ice Phoenix spread its wings and soared, emitting a sharp cry, its expression vividly lifelike. Then, a purple soul ring descended, settling perfectly around the Ice Phoenix, and a surge of soul power burst forth like a tidal wave. Congratulations. Soul ring successfully absorbed. Ice Phoenix martial soul upgraded to intermediate level. Current attributes: Ice Phoenix soul, intermediate level 82/200. Talent sword drawing technique, Blade of Ice upgraded to Dance of Fine Snow. Dance of Fine Snow, ice drawing technique power increased by 50%, freezing effect increased by 100%. The power of ice is condensed into a thread that can freeze the world. Leveled up. Fang Xian was ecstatic. The Ice Phoenix had evolved from elementary to intermediate. The talent blade unlocked had transformed from Ice Blade to Snow Dance, with a huge power boost. He opened his palms, sensing the change. 2 soul rings, 1 yellow and 1 purple, floated from his hand, radiating a dazzling light. Ha! Finally got some soul rings. Looking at the two rings, Fang Xian felt a rush of excitement. They not only boosted his martial skill, but also contained vast soul power. After absorbing both in a row, Fang Xian's level jumped again, leaping 2 levels to 35. 4 levels in one night. His soul power was rocketing upward. If anyone found out, the whole continent would be stunned. He checked his stats. The ultimate sword drawing system. Host, Fang Xian. Level, 35. Title, Soul Lord. Soul power, 15/1000. Weapon, Shadowless Knife. Skill, Basic Sword Drawing Technique, 11/200. Mind State, Sword Power. God-Given Sword, 1. Martial Souls, Ice Phoenix Soul, Intermediate 82/200. Nine-Hearted Begonia Soul, Elementary 83/100. Talent, Dance of Fine Snow, Healing Blade. Sword Skills, Storm Slash, Super Powerful. Sword Drawing, Sword Draw Power increased by 30%, Yan Hui, Super Speed Sword Drawing, Sword Draw Speed increased by 30%. Sword Draws Available, 0, his strength had skyrocketed. Fang Xian was thrilled. The gap between him and Douglas was closing fast, but it wasn't enough. He could still get stronger. Fang Xian clenched his fists, a fierce determination burning in his eyes. He also had a God-given sword, allowing him to copy another martial soul. Plus, he still had that 3,000-year soul ring in his inventory, ready to be absorbed. If he could pull it all together before the finals, his strength would skyrocket again. Martial soul, which one to copy? Fang Xian frowned, pondering. This was a crucial decision. He only got a God-given sword every 10 levels, so this opportunity was too precious to waste on some trash like blue-silver grass. Finally, he locked onto the perfect target, the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. Actually, he'd originally planned to copy Yu Tianheng's martial soul. His original plan was to secretly steal it during the finals and use it against him, a perfect plan, or so he thought. But Douglas had defeated Yu Tianheng, ruining everything. Now, his plan to copy Yu Tianheng's martial spirit was in ruins. Since he couldn't openly defeat Yu Tianheng on the field and copy his blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex, he'd have to backstab him under the cover of night. The blue electric Tyrannosaurus was a top-tier martial soul with lightning, attack power, and speed. In the entire Tiando Academy, it was definitely Fang Xian's best option right now. With his mind made up, he decided to set off immediately and copy Yu Tianheng's martial soul tonight. Tomorrow was the final match against Douglas, and he needed to be at his absolute peak. Time for a killer hairstyle and a cool stealth suit. Gotta look sharp when I take down Yu Tianheng tonight. Humming off-key, Fang Xian quickly changed clothes, ready to take down Yu Tianheng. Let's go. Time for some backstabbing. Fang Xian was pumped. He opened the door and stepped into the courtyard, only to find an uninvited guest waiting. In the dark, a golden shadow materialized. She had blonde hair, striking features, and flawless skin. Even dressed in men's clothes, she couldn't hide her breathtaking beauty, her grace, luxury, and otherworldly aura. Little brother, long time no see. Qian Renshue's smile bloomed like a flower. She glided forward, an otherworldly being gracing the mortal realm. Her every move was elegant, as refreshing as a spring breeze. Jackpot. A major jackpot. The moment Fang Xian saw Qian Renshue, his eyes widened, and they lit up with intense excitement, as if he'd discovered a legendary cash cow. Sis. Fang Xian's face lit up with feigned joy. He teleported in front of Qian Renshue and, before she could react, wrapped her in a massive bear hug. Qian Renshue froze, a chill running down her spine. She was stunned. Chapter 69 Seraphim, Testing the Waters. Asking for recommendation votes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bro, I've missed you like crazy. Tears welled up as Fang Xian squeezed Qian Renshue's waist, perfect timing, I'm saved. You showed up. Forget looking for that loser Yu Tianheng. Fang Xian was ecstatic. Qian Renshua's Seraphim martial spirit is way stronger than Yu Tianheng's blue lightning tyrant dragon. It's a legendary, top-tier spirit. Seraphim users are born with a soul power of 10. That's insane. Martial spirits have 3 levels, average, superior, and super. Average spirits are just that, nothing special. Superior spirits are a cut above. They often have unique abilities or ancient genes. They can evolve from average spirits, or from a similar spirit. Super spirits outclass everything else. They're more powerful in every way, with extremely strong abilities or god-level genes. Awakening one usually requires special steps, and it can evolve from the top-tier spirits, and here's Qian Renshua, right at my doorstep. Her Seraphim is a super martial spirit with crazy power. Fang Xian was determined. He wouldn't let Qian Renshua slip away. Tonight, he'd make a play for her power. Bro! Let go! Fang Xian's bear hug caught Qian Renshua completely off guard. Embarrassment flushed her face, and a cold dread settled in her stomach. How many times had Fang Xian done this? That creep's hand was wandering around her again. Don't let go. Bro, why haven't you visited in ages? I've really missed you so much. Qian Renshua struggled, but Fang Xian's grip was like iron. His arms were like bands of steel around her waist, and he wasn't letting go. Showing up late at night looking to pick a fight? What was I gonna do, not help? Fang Xian smirked. Jackpot. Whether I can beat Douglas depends on how much you help me. Fang Xian's eyes narrowed. Still hugging Qian Renshua tight, he started to move. His right palm opened, and golden light formed a tiny blade. He aimed it at her butt and tapped it. 3 seconds, painless, no trace. Before Qian Renshua knew it, something important had been taken. That's the beauty of the God-given blade. Quick, clean, painless, harmless. You're none the wiser, but I already used it. Ding dong. Congratulations. You've obtained the Seraphim spirit. New talent unlocked, Angel Blade. Hearing the system notification, Fang Xian rejoiced. He couldn't believe he'd copied the Seraphim spirit so easily. What a score! The Seraphim martial spirit is one of the best in Douluo Continent. It has both light and holy attributes, and potential to become a god. It's unmatched. With this super spirit, Fang Xian's chances against Douglas just got a whole lot better. Little bro, what are you doing? Qian Renshua had caught on. Nothing, all done. Fang Xian grinned. Done what? Just a bro hug. Now that he'd succeeded, Fang Xian quickly released Qian Renshua's waist. He wasn't some creep who goes around touching people. So, bro, what brings you here so suddenly? Fang Xian eyed Qian Renshua suspiciously. Could it be she really had a connection to him? He was about to go on the offensive when she showed up. How touching. Nothing. Just wanted to see how you're preparing for tomorrow's final. Qian Renshua crossed her arms behind her back, her blonde hair catching the moonlight as she adopted a saintly pose. Oh, sure, not bad. Fang Xian kept his face neutral, but inside, he was trying to figure out Qian Renshua's real purpose. Qian Renshua is a spirit hall spy who's infiltrated the Heaven Do Empire. As the current crown prince, her role is threatened by Fang Xian's performance in the competition, which has caught the eye of Emperor Shui. Fang Xian figured her surprise visit tonight couldn't be for anything good, but he wasn't too worried. Qian Renshua was too smart to make a move at the academy, so he was safe for now. Qian Renshua wore a smile and spoke gently. She wished Fang Xian luck for the match tomorrow, and casually checked out his room. She didn't seem like she was there to cause trouble, but just visiting. Little bro, it's late, I won't keep you. Remember, be careful in tomorrow's match. Qian Renshua gave Fang Xian a friendly wave and left. Okay, see ya, big bro. Watching the golden figure leave, Fang Xian's eyes darkened. He was still puzzling over Qian Renshua's visit. The night grew darker. Heaven Do Academy, behind the waterfall. A figure lurked in the shadows, like a ghost. It was a man, with wild purple hair. He sat silently on a rock, arms crossed, as if waiting for someone. Finally, the moon peeked out from the clouds, bathing the earth and waterfall in silver light. A slender figure emerged from the darkness, her blonde hair flowing freely. Her beautiful face was alluring under the moonlight. Finally. I hate waiting. The purple-haired man frowned impatiently at the blonde in men's clothes. To win, you must know yourself and your enemy. Xian Renshua smiled calmly at the purple-haired man. A grin stretched across her face. You look like you're ready. Douglas. Chapter 70 Test the Waters. I beg everyone for fire support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright everyone, need your support during this trial run. Please vote, add to your collection, comment, and leave a tip. Tipping on this platform really helps boost a new book's visibility. Any support you can give is awesome. This first round of recommendations is crucial, it can make or break a book. I really don't want to get cut this early, so I'm begging you to throw some votes my way. Vote. 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 Seriously, this is super important to me. Of course, I'm not just sitting around asking for help. I'm working hard too. Tomorrow, Monday, I promise a minimum of 10,000 words to keep you entertained. And if things go well, I'll keep that pace up every day. I'm a person of my word. Tonight, after midnight, I'll post 2 chapters back to back, and then release the remaining 3 gradually throughout the day. Please, hit that recommendation button. Time for me to get back to writing. Thanks so much, everyone.